Hello and welcome again to From the Depths. Now today we are going to see a couple of very special ships, and those are things I made for a purpose and with an intention, experimental intention more than anything else. I was taking a look at the current state of the detection mechanics and if I could do a stealthy sub. And a stealthy sub in the sense that, well, obviously a submarine is stealthy. It's intended to be underwater, so you're not going to see it. And radar is going to be useless against it. But I also wanted a small sonar return. So I did this. Now this I still haven't called it. If you want to suggest a name for it, yes, please do it in the video comments down below. Is absolutely and totally stealthy in the sense that it has a pretty small cross section, 7x7, with diagonal shapes all around the hull. Is heavily armed with 4 torpedo launchers, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 long, 14 vertical launched missiles, which are 8 long. And what you are hearing are the sonar and radar buoys that I'm launching all the time, because this thing has no other sensors than those buoys and a couple of passive sonar sets up and down, obviously not to give my position away. This thing has a shit ton of propellers and it's pretty quick. 20.9 meters per second, which translates around 42 knots, more or less. It's also pretty maneuverable because of the presence of, well, not only the rudders but also sideways mounted propellers, as you can see them there. As you can see, if I start turning, it's going to turn in a dime. It's also very stable, as you can see, it barely rolls. The idea behind this is to grab on whatever is on the surface with the vertical launched missiles, and to grab on whatever is under the surface with the torpedoes. Let's take a look around and see how it is inside, because you can walk around this ship. Here is the control room. I didn't set it in the cockpit, I did set it in here. Here are the altitude controls with air pumps. I could have done it with PID, but I decided I wanted to go with air pumps. I think they give a more reasonable response and are easier to set, so if you want to surface, it's much faster done with this. Weapon controller, the main controller of the ship, some repair bots. Now, down below here is all the torpedo mechanisms. Those you can't actually visit in person because there's no space essentially to move. So let's move on into the engine room. Now this again is a seamless copy of the Blue Line engine, an absolute monster of an engine producing 3200 power at an absolute retarded efficiency of more than 300 per fuel. So yeah, this also is the fuel storage, as you can see. If we move on, we reach the missile deck. Well, this is the AI and missile deck, the top part. Here we have the every 5 seconds. This is incorrect. This should be it's 45 seconds. That's it. This is to launch the buoys, the sonar and radar buoys. Again, we have no active sensors on the submarine, only passive sonar. The detection will rely on buoys to do that. So if we move here, we have a lower hatch to go down to the bottom missile deck. As you can see, these are the missiles. The launchers are down there with missile ejectors, super missiles. So these can drop missiles from very low down low. Actually, right now we are at 47 meters, and as you can see, they have absolutely no problem in firing. Okay, let's go back up. This is a little bit tricky. There you go. Now let's close this. Air pump here. Here is the aft section. I originally intended to put an anti-torpedo system here, dropping pretty much mines with an missile interceptor. The torpedoes you really can't intercept at all because, well, your missile detection and munition detections won't work underwater. So I intended to put some here to act as some kind of barriers between me and the incoming torpedoes, but honestly, it was not worth it. This thing is a lot of ammunition. 14 missiles and 4 torpedoes with that length really take a lot of ammunition. So I simply decided against it. Down here is the ammo storage. This part of the hull is covered in metal, and well, this is where all the ammo is. Down below are some ammo makers, a couple of them only, because I don't want to be too much material reliant, but I need them in order to keep the submarine firing. So this is it. I mean, it's really quick, and I'm going to teleport to the control room. Good. It's really quick. I mean, 20.9 meters per second. Well, look at that. It really zips around. This thing barely can be touched by enemy torpedoes, as it is. It's so fast that particularly those that come from the front, they simply try to hook on it and they overshoot. And if they come to the side, they start direct chase, and usually they never connect. So that's really neat. As for how stealthy it is, let's take a look. This is the heat detection range, 100 meters all around. That's very short. Well, a little bit more upwards. I don't really know why, but I guess we are giving a little bit more heat upwards. Oh yeah, well, because we have the engine exhaust up here. Well, yeah. Next, visible. Obviously, we are invisible because we are underwater. Radar, we are underwater. Sonar, 1500 meters from the side. This is pretty long, but only 262 from the front and from the rear. So if I'm dead on pointing at an enemy, it's not going to see me at all. At least it shouldn't. Now and then they shoot at me, and I don't know why. But yeah, it's the thing is, it has so little a profile that even if they see you, they can't really aim at you. So enemy ships, they can't do anything against this thing because, see, yes, they might be able to track you, but no, they are not going to hit you. And wireless range, I only have one wireless connection in this warship, and it's from the torpedo room back to the main AI, because I didn't want to lay a consecutive set of connector blocks. The missiles are directly connected to mainframe, so very small snoop range. So really a stealthy submarine. And I'm sure you are going to be aching to see it in action, right? Well, the pity is you are not, because you're going to see something else. And I will put a fight with this thing, but the video is going to be super long if I do. So instead I'm going to move on to that something else, and I'm going to show it to you. And welcome to the little brother. This is the mini sub. And yeah, it's kind of a very small brother, right? It actually looks a lot like my stealth bomber, my attack bomber, but honestly, this is because I wanted it to make it so aerodynamic and small in cross section as possible. So the solution was very similar, to make a very similar nose and then a very similar, let's call, fuselage. This thing has only 2 propellers, but with only 2 propellers, it's almost 16 meters per second. Yeah. This thing is depth control is not reliant in pumps at all. I mean, this thing is crowded inside. There's barely any space in fact, I think I don't have a single air pocket inside. That's not covered with equipment. Instead, I'm relying with pure hydrofoil altitude control through PIDs, and it works very well, actually. It really does work very well. This one comes with an active sonar, mostly because with this small of a weaponry, I only have 2 torpedoes, but they are really good. I want to have a good fix on the enemy and keep it under a constant barrage of torpedoes. This thing is, I'm going to say it is insane. I think I have created a little monster here. And that's because it only costs 3,300 RP. The big brother is almost 20,000 RP. But this is 3,300 resource points to build. I mean, you can build 2 of these at the beginning of a campaign, and it shits on anything it sees. It really does. I mean, it doesn't give a damn about whatever is fired at it. It's so small, it's so nippy, and it's so fast that things don't connect. I mean, well, you're going to see it. You're going to see it. I'm not kidding. In a second, I will just feel that, I don't know, a typhoon or something like that, and fight it, and you'll see this thing is going to eat it alive. It's incredible what this thing can do. It's very maneuverable as well. It's not as stable as the Big Brother, obviously. And also has a little problem, and is if it ever surfaces, you really have to stop it. And then move slowly forward so the hydrofoils force it down. Because if it surfaces and you go full power, it's going to cartwheel. Really, it's going to. Weapons, 2 torpedoes only. 2 torpedo propellers, fins, fuel tank, regulator to keep it going for a long time, ballast tanks, 1 turn, proximity fuse, explosive warhead, and torpedo sonar. Is neutered in floating depth, so it's going to remain at the depth is fired at. Actually, a little bit less, because they are fired downwards. Obviously, to clear the fact that is the front of the launcher is blocked. So it's going to remain maybe at 40 meters of depth, and if it acquires something, it will on itself climb to hit it. As I said, a couple of propellers. I tried more, but honestly it's not worth it. The thing that this is not is fuel efficient. Let's see if I can actually move in. This is a very small engine, 600 more or less, and very inefficient. Very inefficient, but really, I mean, in this space, I only have what, a space of 3x3 in here. And all the stuff I needed to cram in here, yeah, it's almost impossible. The fact is, as you can see, the top is all connectors. This thing has not a single wireless connection. It's all through hard connections from the AI. The AI is sitting in front, just behind the piloting post. One of the big benefits of this is if you are sailing in this and you want to capture something, you only have to jump and you're out. The problem is you can't get in again. So to do that you need to warp inside, and then you are again here. Yeah, it's I would say the layout, but honestly it's so crammed inside that it's going to be a little complicated. Well, as I said, obviously all the torpedo infrastructure here. The local weapon controller hardwired to the AI, which on itself is connected to a card of naval movement. Physical connectors down to the rear to give some space for the general purpose processing cards back here. Some ammunition, some research containers, some repair bots, a little bit of lead to ballast it, and that's it. It's really simple. It's a really simple construct. But really, I'm surprised how well this thing does. I mean, well, first let's take a look at that. Viewing heat. Heat is probably Well, no, not really. I mean, it's less detectable in heat than our big brother, because obviously we have no external exhaust. So yeah, just 120. Invisible, obviously, is underwater. Radar, obviously, is underwater. Sonar, 425 from the side, 206 from the front, 82 from the rear, and 506. Well, the bigger profile obviously is from the side and the top, and the side and the bottom. Well, especially side and top, because the angled portion is giving a 90-degree return. But you can see all around is super, super, super stealthy. Obviously, the biggest giveaway is the active sonar. The problem is with the inactive with a passive sonar only, and I don't have any active buoys here, and I don't have a space to mount them. If I had a means to send some buoys out, I wouldn't rely on the active sonar. The problem is that passive sonar only picks enemy active sonar, doesn't pick anything else. So if you really want to know where the enemy is, you need this. It's sad, but it's the way it is. Also, you can't switch this down. I would love a PID or a controller or something that I could manually set to activate this under certain circumstances. Sadly, there's not such option. So this kind of gives away the position, but really it doesn't. Yeah, I mean, you're going to see it. I'm going to spawn a typhoon and I'm going to fight it. You're going to see the typhoon is not going to pick me up until well after I have fired at him. So yeah, and it would be even better if I could switch this off. But being the way it is, I need it on. And yeah, if you think I'm kidding, really, I don't know, let's spawn, I don't know what, a godly design, a paddle gun. Let's spawn it, and you'll see that the paddle gun is not even moving. Obviously, it has no passive sonar. It has no way to know we are pinging him. This is a godly Deepwater design ship. Okay, it's not responding because we are so stealthy and torpedoes are on the way. Well, obviously this is happening also because, let's face it, I set the game configuration at automatic detection to 0. You need a sensor fix in order to know there's something coming for you. So this thing doesn't know I'm around, and as he doesn't know, he's going to eat a shitload of torpedoes, and more are incoming back there. And even after he starts eating them, he's going to do nothing because he can't detect me. This thing craps on deep water watch ships, and remember, it's 3,300. But even then, it doesn't only shit on these things. After all, the deep water guard is a beginner faction only, and yeah, I mean, it's intended to fight against you in the very early stages of the campaign, so it's going to be very easy. So you might say, well, okay, Ram, no big deal, right? Okay. Destroy enemy vehicles. Let's come back here. Let's wait for the ammo to reload. Okay, we're set. So let's start moving away. Let me take a look at how far away we are. Really far away, around 2,000 meters. It's a good realistic engagement range. 2,000 meters. Okay, so here we are. Let's load vehicle. Go to the nether. Steel striders, and I think it's not here somewhere. Torpedo Typhoon. Here it is. Different faction, and load it. And let's switch my AI on. Now, torpedoes are on the way. We have detected it, and torpedoes are on the way. Okay, let's see. Let's follow the torpedoes and see what the Typhoon is doing. torpedoes again, well in the way. It's around here, I can hear it. There it is. He doesn't know. He doesn't know it here. He's just moving merrily around and has not detected us. We are at 1700 meters, more or less. So the active sonar has not given us away yet, and we have fired at least 2 volleys of torpedoes, probably 3 already. And now he's beginning to fire back. But 3 volleys of torpedoes are already coming in. And you'll see the effects of them. Okay, first torpedo is coming in, and boom, 2 more, and there goes his propulsion. Okay, let's go back and see how are we faring. We have a lot of fire coming incoming. Torpedoes and even some missiles. I saw him launching them. Okay, torpedoes are incoming. So avoids the first one, second one, third one. They go by. They don't detonate, and we avoided them all. It's so small from the front, and it has so little sonar retort that the torpedoes can get a proper fix until they are pretty much on top. So when they try to correct, they don't. They can't hit it. It's so small. Okay, we are hitting him really strong in the rear, and more torpedoes are coming in. Meanwhile, obviously, we have torpedoes obviously coming our way, but they are not going to connect. Okay, we were moving away. Now the submarine seems to be turning. Not yet, seems. I have it set. Ooh, that was a missile. Okay. Okay, that has caused some damage on the aft planes, but not enough to make us lose our controllability. Let's see what the Typhoon is doing in the meantime. How he's faring. He's not doing very well. He sadly made his turn, has no propulsion left, and more torpedoes are incoming. Yeah, we are putting the space between us and the Typhoon, and that's the AI settings to keep at least around 1000 meters of distance. And now seems he's turning again for a torpedo run. Has a broadside angle of 75 degrees, so should be pretty much facing forward. And we have an incoming. Well, that incoming blew out, but nothing serious happened. And we are still fighting back. Well, this Typhoon is not looking really healthy. Look at the bow, look at the bow! The torpedo tubes seems to be out of order. The missiles are not, but the missiles really for a submarine is very complicated to hit a submarine with missiles. Look at that, we are simply skimming under them as we go in. Okay, AA is again turning away, it seems. Torpedoes are constantly being fired. Here comes another volley of missiles, missing totally. And yeah, it's at 94% and we are at 100. Ooh, what the hell is that? Holy shit, that was big. Okay, those seems. Ooh, that was a missile. Okay, those seems torpedoes which have run out of fuel. Meanwhile, back to our target. Yeah, it's not doing good at all. Look at that tail heavy. We must have, yeah, we have pierced a compartment in the rear, and we are putting a lot of shots on that belly. Meanwhile, missiles are going off for whatever reason on the surface, but we are not bothered by it at all. And let's take a look at the Typhoon. Oh man is looking bad. He's looking really bad. And I think there's one torpedo which is launching, but a very tiny projectile. I think we have disabled his torpedoes, and without torpedoes this thing can't do crap against us. Really, it can't. those missiles are not going to hit me, and those that hit, really, I can repair whatever the missile do before it really becomes a problem. Meanwhile, we are still keeping a constant fire of high explosive underwater. High explosive underwater is really effective because it has added benefit of the pressure effects. Okay, seems, yeah, we are tracking still, good. And now the active sonar also. The active sonar, the problem it has is that now and then it becomes masked by the rear passive one. So when we are moving away from the enemy, the passive one needs to keep detection to make the AI know there's an enemy around. Okay. Moving ahead again, let's see. He's surfacing. He's actually going on the surface. That's weird. Means that probably we have destroyed some kind of equipment for that was keeping it submerged. I don't know. But what happens is that we still are putting salvos of torpedoes on it like all the time. Really, this thing can't do anything against us. This is an insane. This is I think an expert submarine of one of the most advanced factions. So when I'm saying I created a monster, I think I did create a monster, because if you can fight something this advanced with something which is 3,300 RP, something's really wacky. I don't know. And the fun thing is, all this began like a proof of concept. Let's see if this works, okay? And it began with the Big Brother. This I never thought it would be practical, but hell, it is practical. It's a monster. Okay, let's take a look at what's going on the other side of the torpedoes. Yeah, he's really damaged, and now he's tilting. Yeah. It's capsizing. It's capsizing. We have opened so many rooms from the starboard side that now is settling. Probably is not going full throttle, but is lying on its side. Look at the damage we have dealt so far. Yeah, he has barely grazed us. And here comes another one. Now it seems we are firing torpedoes in ones. Yeah, looking at the ammo, in long fights like this, obviously, to keep up to pretty long torpedo tubes reloaded all the time, the amount of ammo I have seems not enough. But who cares? I mean, this thing is dead. This thing can't do anything to defend itself. It's going to go down. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to make you see the whole process of this thing going down because it's super tough. It's going to take quite a while. But yeah, let's wait until it happens. And it's happening. Under 80% and sinking. This thing is despawning already. And don't forget, what we have is 3,300 RP. Okay, let's 328. This thing is 63,000 RP, and it's an expert design. Yeah. So we beat a typhoon. I wasn't kidding. I told you this thing was a monster. It depends on the enemy. Some enemies are worse than others, but I mean, for the cost, I mean, if you feel 3 or 4 of these against almost anything, you're going to lose at least 1 or 2, but who cares if the enemy gets destroyed, and it probably will get destroyed. So yeah, there's that. So here we are with the Big Brother again, waiting for a name to this. So in the comment section you can suggest one. This thing is good. I mean, this thing is good, but it's 18,000 RP. It's 6 times the cost, more or less, than the other. And if you give me the choice between 6 of those or one of these, I'm going to go with 6 of those. No questions asked. It's really good. I also fought a Typhoon with this, but the problem is you really need to take the weapons off of the Typhoon, because this is longer, much longer and less maneuverable than the other. So being longer, I'm having a bigger profile. It gets detected from a little farther away, and if something connects, it's going to be painful, especially if it connects in the rear. So you lose some speed and you become unbalanced. It might get problematic. I have beaten typhoons with this, but after all, this is almost 20k. Okay, I have beaten also broadswords with it. I have beaten quite big ships with this thing. I'm very proud of it. But the other thing is, it just doesn't give a fuck. It's just like that. The other thing is so small that you are not going to hit it, and even if you hit it and you sink it, who cares? There are three more of them around. So yeah. Obviously, these are submarines. This thing can engage air targets, and it does so very well. I have also tested it against some flyers. Obviously, again, depends on the enemy. Depends on the enemy. But this thing can engage air targets, and having radar buoys means it's going to detect them. The other one can't take on air units at all because simply won't detect them. On the plus side, the enemy air forces won't detect it either. So you have the bad worst of the worst from one side because you are not detecting them, but they are not detecting you either, unless they have some kind of sonar voice or something like that. Then you are in a bit of a problem because they can't engage you and you can't engage them. But again, for the price, who the hell cares? Just don't send them against flyers. So yeah, this was it. This was my little stealth submarine video with my two well, test subjects, so to speak. This one and the mini sub. The mini sub already has a name. It's a mini sub. This one doesn't. So I'm waiting for a name. Just suggest something in the comment section below. As always, I hope you had fun watching these guys. Thank you very much for watching and see you later.